The designation existed. Anti-tank grenade number 74 issued hurriedly. Emergency context, invasion planning period. British staff assumptions, armoured landings expected. Southern coastline focus. Infantry gaps noted. Anti-tank guns scarce. Production bottlenecks present. Industrial capacity limited. Material shortages widespread. Steel allocation constrained. Explosive supply rationed. Time pressure extreme. Design shortcuts tolerated. Safety deprioritized officially. Ordnance Board skeptical. Formal trials compressed. Documentation incomplete. Authority centralized. Political pressure applied. Prime Minister involvement. Direct intervention recorded. Rejection overridden. Manufacturing ordered. Concept selection rushed. Theoretical solution favored. Practical handling ignored. Design premise simple. Close contact required. User proximity mandated. Armor adhesion required. Chemical stickiness chosen. Birdlime derivative adopted. Adhesive performance variable. Temperature sensitivity noted. Surface contamination issues. Mud interference common. Paint variability problematic. Dust reduced adhesion. Oil prevented bonding. Rain degraded tack. Sphere material chosen. Glass selected intentionally. Metal conservation priority. Glass molding rapid. Glass fragility accepted. Explosive filling selected. Nitroglycerin utilized. High brisance valued. Sensitivity extreme. Shock sensitivity documented. Temperature instability known. Handling risk elevated. Transport hazards acknowledged. Storage protocols improvised. Protective casing designed. Metal shell removable. Safety pin mechanism. Spring-loaded arming. Pin removal exposed sphere. Casing discarded immediately. User-held glass. Protective gloves absent. Training minimal. Instruction pamphlets brief. Demonstrations limited. Troop confidence low. Accidental detonation feared. Breakage incidents reported. Premature shattering occurred. Drop tests inconsistent. Vibration sensitivity high. Vehicle transport dangerous. Crate padding insufficient. Breakage during transit. Loss rates high. Accounting discrepancies noted. Explosive leakage observed. Nitroglycerin seepage detected. Chemical burns reported. Uniform contamination occurred. Adhesive contact hazards. Clothing adherence incidents. Unintended sticking frequent. User panic reported. Removal attempts dangerous. Training accidents logged. Medical reports filed. Injury severity varied. Fatalities documented. Censorship applied. Reports classified temporarily. Field units reluctant. Issue resistance widespread. Morale impact negative. Operational doctrine unclear. Approach distance extreme. Tank crew awareness high. Small arms threat present. Time to retreat minimal. Fuse delay short. Escape probability low. Blast radius lethal. Fragmentation unpredictable. Glass shards secondary hazard. Friendly casualties possible. Adhesive failure common. Bomb falling off. Bounce behavior erratic. Rolling under hull possible. Track detonation variable. Armor penetration inconsistent. Angle dependence critical. Curved surfaces problematic. Vertical plates preferred. Turret sides targeted. Hull fronts avoided. User aiming imprecise. Stress impaired accuracy. Night use discouraged. Visibility requirements strict. Protective suits absent. Doctrine unrealistic. Comparative weapons evaluated. Molotov alternatives considered. Rifle grenades inadequate. Magnetic mines scarce. Shaped charges immature. Research lagged. German designs observed. Intelligence delayed. Reverse engineering limited. Domestic innovation pressured. Committees proliferated. Minutes fragmented. Responsibility diffused. Quality control inconsistent. Factory variance high. Adhesive batches differed. Glass thickness uneven. Fill weights inconsistent. Tolerance documentation lacking. Inspection cursory. Acceptance standards relaxed. Serial numbering irregular. Traceability poor. Depot storage overcrowded. Climate control absent. Summer degradation accelerated. Winter brittleness increased. User complaints escalated. Commanders requested withdrawal. Requests denied. Political insistence maintained. Public morale considerations. Symbolic resistance value. Propaganda utility noted. Actual deployment limited. Units hoarded alternatives. training films produced, warnings understated, risk language softened, legal liability ignored, post-incident inquiries delayed, lessons unincorporated, replacement programs planned, no immediate substitute. Production continued briefly, stockpiles accumulated, usage discouraged unofficially, field modifications attempted, adhesive removal practiced, protective cloth suggested, improvisation common, effectiveness marginal, confidence eroded further, subsequent designs diverged, magnetic solutions favored, standoff weapons prioritized, sticky concept abandoned, documentation archived, reputation damaged, user distrust lasting, institutional memory retained, case study cited, theory-reality gap highlighted, engineering caution reinforced, emergency authority questioned. Board influence restored, future vetoes strengthened, endurance of myth persists, actual issue mundane, administrative failure evident, material science immature, human factors ignored, testing insufficient, oversight compromised, outcome predictable, continuation required, further analysis followed, manufacturing audits initiated, factory floor inspections, tooling improvisation evident, glass-blowing manual, skilled labor scarce, training rushed, reject rates undocumented, waste glass reused, microfractures unnoticed, stress risers present, annealing inconsistent, cooling cycles shortened, production quotas enforced, shift hours extended, fatigue increased errors, supervisors rotated frequently, institutional knowledge lost, explosive filling stations cramped, ventilation inadequate, fume exposure common, worker illness reported, protective masks absent, nitroglycerin handling protocols vague, spill cleanup improvised, absorbent materials lacking, floor contamination persistent, boot soles affected, accidental drops occurred, near misses unreported, incentives discouraged stoppage, output prioritized, safety officers overruled, inspection stamps applied broadly, batch records incomplete, transport crates standardized poorly, padding materials substituted, straw used, paper used, shock damping insufficient, rail transport vibration severe, road transport worse, handling instructions ignored, depot clerks uninformed, stacking heights excessive, top layer failures observed, chain reactions feared, evacuation drills absent, fire brigades unprepared, insurance considerations ignored, civil defense overlap unclear, local authorities uninformed, secrecy restricted disclosure, accident reporting delayed, medical treatment improvised, burn protocols outdated, chemical exposure misunderstood, long-term effects unknown, compensation processes unclear, families uninformed, coroner's reports sealed, lessons dissemination blocked, field feedback channels weak, commanders bypassed boards, direct letters sent, replies delayed, tone dismissive, statistical analysis absent, failure rates anecdotal, operational testing limited, live fire trials staged, observers distant, conditions controlled, results optimistic, variables constrained, mud absent, rain absent, stress absent, enemy absent, real combat different, user movement constrained, tank speed underestimated, crew reaction faster, suppressive fire intense, approach corridors lethal, smoke deployment inconsistent, cover unreliable, urban use impractical, open terrain worse, night training insufficient, illumination issues severe, depth perception impaired, adhesive visibility poor, user grip compromised, sweat interference noted, glove policy absent, bare hands common, cold numbness reported, grip strength reduced, dropping incidents increased, fuse arming confusion, pin retention failures, spring corrosion observed, humidity effects ignored, salt air corrosion accelerated, coastal steerage problematic, naval liaison minimal, amphibious doctrine mismatch, landing craft vibration extreme, pre-landing losses high, beach sand contamination, adhesive fouling immediate, armor surfaces wet, sea spray interference, effectiveness near zero, after action reports critical, language moderated, responsibility deflected, political narrative maintained, public mention avoided. Press silence enforced, internal memos candid. Confidence ratings downgraded. Procurement re-evaluated. Replacement urgency acknowledged. Research funding redirected. Shaped charge focus increased. Magnetic attachment revisited. User standoff prioritized. Training doctrine revised. Sticky bomb sidelined. Issued stocks retained. Disposal methods debated. Demilitarization hazardous. Controlled detonation required. Facilities limited. Cost considerations delayed action. Warehousing continued. Risk persisted. Long-term storage unstable. Periodic inspections ordered. Compliance uneven. Some units discarded secretly. Records falsified. Inventory mismatches grew. Auditors confused. Accountability diluted. Eventually withdrawal authorized. Quietly implemented. No announcement made. Legacy documentation sparse. Post-war analysis critical. Case study circulated. Engineering curricula referenced. Human factors emphasized. Emergency powers scrutinized. Board authority reinforced. Churchill role debated. Intervention precedent noted. Checks reintroduced. Future designs cautious. Sticky concept abandoned permanently. Myth outpaced reality. Popular memory distorted. Actual experience grim. Administrative failure dominant. Engineering compromise evident. Logistics underestimated. Testing insufficient. Outcome instructive. Post-withdrawal handling began. Destruction protocols drafted. Explosive disposal manuals revised. Controlled burn methods rejected. Nitroglycerin instability noted. Water immersion attempted. Leaching inconsistent. Environmental contamination feared. Remote detonation preferred. Facilities overstretched. Personnel undertrained. Scheduling delays common. Stockpiles lingered. Risk assessments outdated. Clerical errors persisted. Mislabeling incidents occurred. Mixed munition storage. Cross-contamination risks. Depot commanders complained. Requests escalated slowly. Budget approvals delayed. Treasury scrutiny intense. Cost justification demanded. Safety arguments secondary. Paperwork cycles long. Interdepartmental friction high. War Office priorities shifted. New threats emerged. Resources reallocated. Sticky bomb deprioritized. Residual units forgotten. Occasional accidents continued. Isolated detonations logged. Minimal investigation followed. Attribution ambiguous. Blame diffuse. Lessons still unshared. Training schools referenced failures. Unofficial anecdotes spread. Formal doctrine silent. Technical journals cautious. Language neutral. Responsibility anonymized. Designers reassigned. Careers unaffected largely. Institutional accountability absent. Procurement culture unchanged initially. Incremental reforms later. User-centered design delayed. Field trials expanded eventually. Statistical rigor increased. Risk modeling adopted. Human survivability emphasized. Standoff engagement prioritized. Explosive chemistry refined. Safer fillers developed. Insensitive munitions researched. Long timelines followed. Sticky bomb memory faded. Occasional museum display. Public interpretation simplified. Engineering nuance lost. Veteran testimony rare. Archival access limited. Files declassified slowly. Historians reassessed. Primary sources fragmented. Manufacturing records incomplete. Trial data missing. Accident logs redacted. Narrative reconstruction difficult. Consensus critical. Theory practice divide evident. Emergency authority risks highlighted. Political pressure consequences noted. Board resistance validated retrospectively. User safety undervalued. Material science limits exposed. Adhesive chemistry immature. Glass selection flawed. Nitroglycerin choice hazardous. Alternatives existed. Evaluation incomplete. Time pressure decisive. Fear of invasion overriding. Rational trade-offs claimed. Actual cost severe. Comparative effectiveness low. Opportunity cost significant. Resources diverted. Better designs delayed. Institutional inertia strong. Corrections slow. Learning curve steep. Documentation crucial. Feedback loops essential. Transparency lacking. Outcome predictable retrospectively. contemporary warnings ignored, dissent suppressed, consensus manufactured, production inertia unstoppable briefly, withdrawal inevitable, quiet resolution preferred, no formal apology, no public reckoning, administrative closure incomplete, legacy persists academically, engineering ethics discussions cite case, procurement law references example, risk governance frameworks updated, emergency exemptions narrowed, testing mandates strengthened, user trials required, material qualification standardized, batch traceability enforced, quality assurance expanded, independent oversight added, sticky bomb influence indirect, failure instructive, documentation value reinforced, human factors central, design humility encouraged, emergency shortcuts questioned, historical footnote status, actual harm understated publicly, internal acknowledgement stronger, lessons partially absorbed, institutional memory fragile, repetition risk remains, modern parallels drawn, context differs, principles consistent, engineering reality unforgiving, administration accountable eventually, case remains cautionary, subsequent archival reviews occurred, minute books examined, marginal notes revealing, tone defensive, language procedural, risk minimized verbally, statistical absence notable, quantitative metrics missing, failure definitions vague, success criteria undefined, terminology inconsistent, engineering drawings sparse, revision control weak, change orders frequent, authorization signatures overlapping, responsibility unclear, decision chains opaque, emergency committees dissolved later, membership rotated rapidly, continuity lost, institutional learning fragmented, procurement files split, cross-referencing difficult, indexing poor, cataloging inconsistent, some files destroyed, others misplaced, archival gaps persistent, reconstruction speculative, eyewitness accounts limited, memory unreliable, time distortion evident, narrative simplified, complexity reduced, public histories selective, technical nuance omitted, operational context flattened, risk normalized retrospectively, contemporary fear discounted, design urgency overstated, alternatives understated, resource constraints exaggerated, political agency minimized, Churchill correspondence partial, drafts missing, annotations suggest impatience, board objections summarized briefly, technical arguments sidelined, testing objections noted, ignored subsequently, authority invoked explicitly, override language firm, compliance expected, dissent discouraged, career consequences implied, silence rewarded, culture reinforced, engineering autonomy reduced, safety culture weakened, parallel projects affected, ripple effects observed, shortcuts normalized temporarily, post-crisis correction slow, normalization lingered, later conflicts influenced, procurement skepticism increased, oversight layers added, decision latency increased, trade-offs accepted, speed sacrificed, balance recalibrated, sticky bomb cited internally, not publicly, training case studies sanitized, names omitted, dates generalized, specific injuries excluded, ethical dimensions avoided, focus technical, human cost abstracted, lessons framed neutrally, failure language avoided, terms like limitation used, risk reframed, responsibility diffused linguistically, passive voice dominant, agency obscured, outcome depersonalized, accountability diluted, engineering ethics evolving, standards committees formed, guidelines drafted, user testing mandated later, environmental conditions expanded, worst-case scenarios modeled, sensitivity analyses required, adhesive technologies matured, explosive chemistry stabilized, glass abandoned, composite materials explored, magnetic attachment refined, standoff penetration achieved, sticky approach obsolete, historical curiosity remains, museum labels brief, context minimal, danger understated, public fascination persists, simplistic narratives endure, reality administrative, failure systemic, design not isolated, process flawed, governance stressed, emergency powers risky, checks essential, Technical humility necessary, documentation vital, feedback loops critical, human factors central, case relevance enduring, modern parallels cautionary, engineering unchanged fundamentally, constraints persist, pressure repeats, institutions tested cyclically. Memory fades, risk returns, sticky bomb reminder persists, quietly instructive, uncelebrated lesson, embedded in procedure, often unnoticed, still relevant.